Violet Evergarden is the most beautiful anime that Kyoto Animation has ever produced in my honest opinion. Anyone with working eyes can see why I say this from a minute of pretty much any footage that you would choose to watch. But the true beauty of the series doesn't lie in its technical feats when it comes to what TV animation can look like, but its central character, Violet Evergarden. The visuals to the anime, while impressive in every way possible, is just the icing on the cake. The true beauty lies with its main character and the journey she takes over the course of the series. Crafting characters that the viewer won't relate to, but will be interested in following their journey through to the very end isn't the easiest way to design a character. It's why so many series design relatable characters so their audience can connect with and understand where they are coming from more easily, which then makes the writer's job a lot easier as they don't have to come up with as much detail for the character's motivations, as people who relate to them will naturally understand where they are coming from. Violet Evergarden is not a relatable character for your average viewer. She is a monotone doll who shows next to no emotion for a majority of the anime, who lived a life fighting in wars, has lost limbs while being surrounded by death and treated as an object, not a person, her entire life, who after coming home from this war, losing the one person who truly cared for her, is now tasked at understanding others' feelings and emotions while writing them down in the form of letters. In this world, the average person needs someone who works as one of these dolls to write letters conveying the client's feelings in the best possible way. Following a girl that since she was a child never understood the concepts of feelings or how to show them is pretty much a near impossible task. Sure, she might have the technical abilities for the job, but not the heart. This is where the beauty of her character comes into play. Watching a girl who has a logical reason for being near emotionless, surrounded by people trying to give her a new life, one where she can love and feel sorrow, but most importantly, help people for a living, not take lives, makes for one of the most intriguing character arcs you will see in 2018. Now, very early on, it was pretty clear how her character arc would end to a certain degree. She would learn what the words left to her by the one she cared for truly means, what her major really meant to her, and how she has to deal with knowing that he's seemingly gone. But the journey that each episode takes the viewer on in this episodic fashion tells new and emotionally moving stories that help build Violet into a person from the weapon that she starts off as. The anime is all about Violet Evergarden, and with each story we are presented, some more emotionally gripping than others, all act as character building for her. We see short, sweet, and to the point stories with interesting characters, but at the end of the day, they always are there to teach Violet what it is to be human and what emotions truly are, and what it means to live in the pain and happiness that comes with it. When she starts out writing letters, she is blunt and shows next to no compassion in her writing, but by the time the anime ends, though she isn't perfect at showing her own, she learns to properly convey others' thoughts into beautiful words, properly conveying how they feel. Having her be one of the top requested dolls at the end of the series. Having her job be this type of therapy to help her heal from a life full of death and despair is one of the most touching tales I've ever seen. Now, stories revolving around PTSD after a war is nothing new, but what is new is a girl not understanding that she is broken from this life that she was forced to live, and how her new job teaches her to come to terms with what she's had to live through and where her future can go if she accepts her own feelings. At no point does Violet feel like an object to the viewer. She always feels like a girl trapped in a never-ending hell in her own mind, where she was taught to be a tool and not a person worth anything. Now, often anime try to design their characters as objects for the viewers to fantasize about, where with Violet she was someone you wanted to see grow and develop into her own person rather than see her in cliche fanservice scenes or any situation where she would be used by another. She felt like someone who needed to be guided towards a better tomorrow, which the viewer will want to stick around for. At no point did I ever want something degrading or bad to happen to Violet. I only wish for the best for her, as she has lived through so much hell that she really only deserved a happy tomorrow. Some people who watched Violet Evergarden said it was boring to follow an emotionless girl not understanding how to be a person, and generally I'd agree. But within the first episode, you get a solid understanding with why her character is the way it is. A girl who fought in wars from an early stage in her life naturally wouldn't act like your standard girl, and as the series opens up her past more and more, you see it wasn't just the fighting that made her into a tool. It was everyone around her treating her as a weapon and not as a person, except for one who attempted to treat her right. So of course, her being this way makes sense, and it becomes fascinating to follow, as the viewer should want to see where this war-driven girl will go while surrounded by people who actually seem to care about her as a person. That is, unless more character drama stories aren't your cup of tea, but in terms of her being boring, I'd have to disagree, as I think she's one of the most entertaining characters in anime just due to the amount of depth a seemingly emotionless and empty character like Violet truly has. Everything needed in order to make Violet Evergarden work at a written level was achieved. A tragic backstory that didn't feel like the same old story we've seen 1,000 times over. A new take on the monotone template for its character, but this time with a believable reason for being that way. Episodic stories that were there both to be a moving tale by themselves, but also serve as a way to teach Violet what it is to be human, with an end goal so simple yet sad to anticipate, as the word she desperately tries to understand will lead to a very sad tomorrow once understood. But the hope that she will live her life for the first time, rather than aid someone else as a tool, makes Violet Evergarden a truly beautiful story. The added layer of detail to its visual charm of course helps, as seeing the emotion conveyed through the most subtle details and facial reactions, or how the lighting and directing would strike the proper balance to match the writing's mood, was absolutely brilliant. But I think what truly ties this anime up in a near perfect fashion is actually Violet's Japanese voice actress. I've completed the anime both with the English and Japanese dubs, but I truly believe the Japanese dub is the optimal way to experience this tale, as the way Violet's voice is portrayed in Japanese is one of my favorite performances in all of anime. To make a character sound lifeless is pretty easy. To make someone sound human is pretty easy for anyone with some experience in the field of acting, but to make a voice sound broken, as if they never knew love, joy, or true happiness, that they didn't know how they were living their life, is wrong. To then gradually open up and convey true emotions over the course of the season, that when needed can completely break down and shatter, that you want to cry along with the character, now that's challenging. And Violet's Japanese voice nailed every single scene so well that its pretty solid English dub actually feels cheap in comparison, just because one voice actor made it so hard to match. Great voice acting can elevate even the most mediocre anime into something fairly enjoyable, but great voice acting can also turn amazing anime into a one-of-a-kind experience that will remain special years down the line. Not every episode of Violet Evergarden is a perfect experience. Not every story told is as moving as the last, but the difference in quality to the individual stories told all added to Violet's character in an equal enough way, showing her a different way of life than the one that she knew all her life. So even if an episode felt lesser in quality than some of its best episodes that tried to move you to tears, it never really feels like an issue or missed opportunity, as they all benefit Violet's character growth and help her get one step closer to understanding what it means to be free and to understand her own emotions, to be able to live a life of her own, not a life for someone else's gain. Violet Evergarden may not be an anime for everyone, but I think it's one of those anime experiences that everyone should at least give a try, because in terms of character writing and development, there isn't much competition in 2018 for anime. It's not my favorite anime ever, but it's one of the most moving experiences I've had, that its rewatch value is exceptionally high. Whether you want beautiful art that no matter where you pause the episode it looks gorgeous to view, or you just want fantastic animation that will be the goal for many studios to match in the future, or you're like me who wants to see studios tackle series where the quality of its source material's writing matters the most, you'll find something to love about Violet Evergarden, as it's one of the most beautiful anime experiences ever made, and its true beauty lies with its main character's arc, and how a tool of war ended up becoming her own person that learns what love and sorrow truly are, and there's nothing more beautiful than that of Violet Evergarden. If you did watch Violet Evergarden, or you just have some thoughts on the video, be sure to let me know yours down in that comment section below. Also remember to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. There's also my Patreon, where for as little as a single $1 a month you can help support what I do even more if you so wish, but until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.